What do you get when you take two childhood friends with a passion for unexplored history and a whole lot of booze?
You get us, Queen's Podcast.
And here at Queen's, we are spilling the tea on all kinds of women from history.
From New Orleans voodoo queen, Marie Laveau, to Marie Antoinette, and everything in between.
Each queen is paired with a cocktail recipe that will totally get you in the mood to hear the fun, dramatic, and juicy stories of fascinating women from history.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Cheers!
Hey y'all, welcome to Culture Cult. My name's Marie. I am the host of the show. And this is a show where I tell you the wildest stories I promise you've never heard from all 197 countries in hopes that we get to learn more about each other and become less ignorant about the world. If you are new to the show, welcome. If you are a reoccurring listener, hell yeah. Thank you for coming back. So, in today's episode, we are finishing off our series on Guadeloupe, which is the small series of islands in the Caribbean that is actually a colony of France, not a country. And we will find out why that is in this episode. We're also going to be covering some badass bitches today. We are talking about the freedom fighters Louis Delgres and a woman born as a slave with the name of Solitude. We are going to be stepping back into a time where you were either born a slave or not. You were either born with freedom or not. And your fate at this time period was completely in the hands of foreign nations, unless you were willing to die for it. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how on earth did a free black man and a pregnant woman born as a slave on the island of Guadeloupe fight against the French army. And that's going to be a big theme today, the idea of freedom. And is it worth it? And if you do get it, are there consequences? We're going to talk about also something I did not know about till this episode, how France has completely ruined Haiti and how its effects are still lasting to this day. So I learned some real shit on this episode. I might have researched this story, but my Haitian friend and comedian friend Ralph, who's on this episode with me, really enlightened me a lot about the Caribbean and Caribbean history that I had no idea about. So yeah, it's a good one. It's really, really good. And we're definitely going to get into the idea of what is freedom and is it worth fighting for. But first, let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the island of Guadeloupe. And yeah, what's the vibe? What's going on the islands of Guadeloupe? Okay, so the story is a little bit more intense. Definitely more intense and definitely a lot more emotional than Joseph's. So I thought it'd be fun first to talk about the island, you know? Okay. Let's just talk about the island. Like, it's a beautiful place. It's stunning. Everyone listening, look up the island of Guadeloupe. It's also known as Guada.
Wow, it is sexy in Guadeloupe, bro. Wow.
Yeah, this has jumped to the top of my list. This and Belize are now like the two countries I want to go to that I've covered. So you can take a catamaran boat tour around the islands. You can hike volcanoes. There's a bunch of waterfalls. There's hot springs that flow into the ocean. There's also a water slide called La Coulisse, and it's like a natural water slide. Like, people bring floaties and they just slide down these rocks into the river. It's like jungle paradise, but with islands. This is just a place I think you can just chill and have adventures. Also, I wanted to cover food because we didn't cover that last time. And so it's been colonized by so many places. And so you got Caribbean, you got African, French, you got Indian, you got Lebanese, we got Chinese on this one island.
Island so small, got mad kitchens in there. What?
For real. And then also they have a lot of markets. So if you're interested, if you're actually going, there's something called Gosier Market, Gosier. Friday night market, 4 to 9. They got Creole food. They got vegetable stands, fruit stands, artists selling like jewelry, dances. It's the vibe. And then they also are really into promoting female chefs. So every August, they have like a big festival celebrating all the female chefs, and all the women get dressed up and they get their food blessed. And then they just like dance all night and eat.
Hey, that's what we call in America sexy. You feel me? That's what we call it, sexy. You mean tell me I'm going to see women chefs cooking food and we just going to dance and eat?
Yes.
That's called having a good time. That's called I'm leaving America today. Boy, oh God, I'm going to find a wife down there, boy. These women stopped cooking in America ages ago. Something called femininity got them out the kitchen. I don't understand. I gotta go all the way to Guadeloupe, find myself a missus. Hopefully she speaks English because it's the greatest language on America planet.
America planet.
America planet. It's not Earth, it's America planet. What I'm saying is I can't cook.
I mean, you're not wrong. I don't want to cook. I'm a feminist. I ain't doing that shit. Yeah, but get yourself a woman. Go to Guadeloupe. I bet they're gorgeous. So that's a little bit about the Guadeloupe Island because I wanted to get the feel of it. You know, we talk about Joseph, but like he didn't live there. So he didn't really get to experience his own island. And then this story, you know, it's a lot about Guadeloupe. So like we got to get the feel, like, because today we're talking about freedom fighters and we got to figure out why are they fighting. So it's going to be intense, a little bit of an intense story. We might make you a little angry, you might get emotional. So if you need to take a walk, take a walk. But a reason we're covering this is because it's really important we talk about people whose stories didn't get told. So this story involves some famous people like Napoleon, but it doesn't involve all the rest of the people whose names aren't known. So that's kind of why we're covering this. So today we're talking about Louis Delgres, and then we're talking about La Mulâtresse Solitude. So two people, male, female. Okay. And I can't do French pronunciations. I get so scared about speaking French because it's so fucking hard. Okay. So I think it's important to have you on because you know like about Joseph, you know about his life, and his life is happening right now while all this is happening. So it's pretty fucking cool to like understand.
Okay.
So let's jump into Solitude. Born 1772 on the island of Guadeloupe. We don't know her birth date because she was a slave and they did not want to write that down or care. Her birth wasn't a good one. She was the result of a rape. Her mother was on a boat that deported her, and her mother's name was Bayan Gume, and she was raped by a sailor on the boat. At this time, while Solitude is being born, Joseph is probably in his 20s. He's now switching from swords to music. Okay. So he's just getting in his like prime. Her childhood was unique though, because her slave owner did teach her how to write and read, which is crazy because she's a slave and she's a woman.
Yeah.
So
hey, shout out to that. No shout out.
No shout out. But he did do her dirty. He was like, I'm gonna teach you how to read and how to write. But I think it's because he wanted to make some good money off of her, and he sold her to a plantation in Haiti. She was light-skinned. She had like paler eyes. So that also gave her bonus points in the slave world of like, now you get to be a house slave instead of a field slave, which I'm sure like you know about. But like if you're lighter skinned, you get to be put in the house, less hard work. And she can read and write. So she did get to scoot some of the horrors that other people had to deal with. She's given domestic work and she got to take a lot of advantages from that. She did meet a man named Clairville and she became pregnant. So I think she found some love. She found someone. I think it was like a good thing and she got pregnant. So that's kind of her life right now. Again, Joseph is gallivanting off in Europe, having a good time. So we have to talk about the second person, Louis Delgres, born on the island of Martinique. As we saw on the map, it's not that far. He's a lot older. And he was born in 1766, like I think 10 years older.
Yeah.
Now, Louis got like the fucking golden ticket as a black man at this time. White father, free black mother. Golden ticket. Born a free black man in the 1700s. Also, on extra points, his parents were actually in love. No rape.
I think back in the day, it was rare. It was either this or that.
Or that. Yeah. This, that, and arranged marriage. And hopefully you like each other.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And so Louis seemed like a nice background, and he was also born free. So like that's just as simple as it is between like being born a slave and being sold, or just getting to live life free. It's just simple as that. We do know his birth date because he wasn't a slave. He is a Leo for all you Leos out there. He's August 2nd. And we don't know much about his childhood, but he got a good education. So everything's good and dandy for him. He pops up again around 17. He enters the military and he's like killing it there. He is like going up the ranks. He's also working in the revolutionary armies against the English in the West Indies. He's also huge part of the revolutionary fight in Haiti. He's been wounded a couple times. He was taken prisoner. He was just born ready at 17. He's like, I'm ready to fight for my people to become free. So we love him. And so remember this date, because this is a huge date in history. February 4th, 1794, France abolished slavery. The Empire of France abolished slavery in France and all the colonies before anyone else, by the way. But unfortunately, by the time the news reached the island of Guadeloupe, the British were in control.
Damn.
Yeah.
No. We were free, but we never got that text. I was sleeping. Why? You still up? You still up? Are we still free? Are we still free? We're not free. Damn it. I'll never miss a text again. I'm going to sleep late. Yo, imagine, bro, it was like a letter, and the guy just is like, yo, let me take a break, bro. I've just been on this horse all day. They'll get the letter. I don't know.
No, for real. They were free probably like months ahead. And like, and maybe if they had just gotten that letter or like, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because the British overtook France at this time. So even if they got like a taste of freedom, they would have run right back to slavery because somehow freedom is defined by like contracts, which is fucking insane. That's why this story is I'm gonna get emotional because this shit pisses me off. So they were not free, but all the other French colonies, which literally could be your neighbor, by the way, like Haiti, free, French colony, Guadeloupe, now British, not free. So your cousin might be free. It might be bragging and he's like, this is great. And you're like, yeah, well, now we're eating British food and we're slaves. So not fun. So, okay, now I got all these characters. Louis Delgres fighting, kicking ass in Haiti.
Yeah.
And then you got Solitude, still a slave, but now pregnant. We have to talk about Napoleon. That's literally like the rock star of this time. And so what's going on in his life right now? He just won his first major victory in Italy. He just drove out the Austrians. That was like a big thing. If you know anything about Napoleon, like Austrians, that was like an arch enemy. He just took Venice, Italy. In 1799, he'd established himself as the first consul of France. Quote, I found the crown of France in the gutter and I picked it up. Quote.
That's a quote. And he said it in French. So that shit was sexy smooth,
yeah,
bro.
It's just we crown of France. Just we picked it up.
Yep, that's exactly how he said it. Yo, very good.
Thank you.
Doing Duolingo because that shit is hitting.
Yeah, I went to France this summer.
And you know he wasn't that short. Napoleon was actually 5'8".
Yeah, I feel like there are a lot of rumors about him because, like, again, he had a lot of enemies. So they were like, make this man short. But he did have a big ass ego. I will say that. It doesn't matter if he's short. He had a big old ego. And he was supposed to share the power with 2 other people. But he was like, no. So his ego got bigger. His power got bigger. And he wanted France to grow. He wanted the empire to grow. That's not good for Guadeloupe. Not good. At this point, I think they're back in French control. So they're like, hey, remember that text you sent a while ago? Remember that shit? Okay, you don't? Okay. So, but Napoleon's in charge now, and he's like, okay, so I want a big empire. If I get more land and I get more resources, who the fuck is going to work the lands? Shit. I need to reinstate slavery. I need free labor. So he was like, I'm trying to expand. I can't be paying people. So they went from like, it seemed like what happened. I'm not a historian, but it seemed like what happened is they were declared free, but then they never got the text. And Britain overtook. They were like, you're not free. But then France took it back and then they made it slavery illegal again. But then Napoleon came into power and he was like, no, we need you to work the fields. I'm trying to expand an empire. And in 1802, 8 years after they said it was illegal, he reinforced it. So if you're on places like Haiti, if you're on islands where you actually have been free for 8 years, it's a no. It's a fucking no. You're going to do anything in your fucking power. You will die for your freedom at this point.
Because I'm like, yo, I got to get, but there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. It's going to probably get more dangerous if you leave.
Yeah.
So, just think about that though. Like the past 8 years of your life, like you were free. And then suddenly, like as in today, I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to go to work and you're not like, imagine going to Bavel where you work and you're like, you're not going to ever get paid again. Ever. And also I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. And also you're not going to live in that nice apartment. You're going to go right back to this shed and you're going to live under me. Also, I could
shed.
Yeah, probably.
I was cool until you said shed.
I'm not working for free.
I'm like, if I don't have an apartment, I don't have rent. So there's no motivation for real money. But a shed.
Now you're talking about indentured servitude, bitch. We're not promoting that. Because like that's what indentured servitude was. It was, hey, you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay the tools to farm, but you have to work for me for the next 15 years. That's what you just said.
Well, no, I'm a freedom guy.
I'm free.
Will I fight for the freedom?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if I was that God, I mean, you know what? There's no other way to know other than being there. Like,
I don't know what that's like to have 8 years of freedom after no freedom, and then suddenly some asshole sends another letter saying you're not fucking free anymore.
we kill everybody that said that message, bro.
That's how everyone's feeling. That's how Solitude's feeling. That's how Louis Delgres is feeling. And he's not a slave, by the way, but he's like, y'all are not going to fuck with my people. So how is he going to enforce this? How is this guy all the way in France going to make sure these random islands in the Atlantic are going to be slaves? How are you going to force people to go back into slavery? Well, he hires someone named General Antoine Rich Ponce. His name is Rich Ponce. We're going to call him General Rich Pants because that's his fucking vibe. I never walk in the rain. I wear corduroy. No. Okay? But you a slave. We? Okay. Like, I can see this guy. I don't like him. We don't like him.
God. Why don't we like him?
That's a good question. He was sent as the General Chief Army to Guadeloupe and all these islands, including Haiti, to make fucking sure these people get back in line and they go become slaves again. So he's like the enforcer. You know how Hitler was the idea man? Himmler was the enforcer. This is his Himmler. He's the guy who does the dirty work while Napoleon gets to sit back drinking wine and is like, I'm making the economy good. So this is the guy who actually has to do some bloodshed. So life just starts accelerating. Like this is just like where the climax of Solitude and Delgres' life is about to happen. Solitude was born a slave, then she was free, and then now she's back into shackles. Delgres, born free, but he's not about to watch this happen or go down. He also was a huge part of the Haitian Revolution, so he knows how to run a successful revolution. All right, so May 10th, 1802, shit's about to go down. General Richeponce, he arrives to the island, and Delgres sent a big fuck you statement, but he does it in style. He sends a letter to him. He says, to the whole universe, the last cry of innocence and despair. It was the happiest days of a century forever celebrated for the triumph of enlightenment and philosophy that a class of unfortunate people who were to be annihilated now saw themselves obliged to raise their voices to posterity, to make them know when she has disappeared, her innocence and her misfortunes. Give a tear to our misfortunes and we will die satisfied.
Poetic.
He's just like, at least see how they did us dirty, at least see how all the trials we have gone through, and then we can be a little satisfied for when you kill us. That's what I got from it. And I'll post this on the Instagram in case you're more visual and you want to see it. But that's the letter he sends to General Rich Pants when he arrives. And it's a pretty much like, we're going to fucking die for this shit. Be ready. So at this point, he's ready to fight. He sent a big fuck you statement. And Solitude has been living with runaway slaves at this point. And she's very pregnant. And I'm sure at this point, like at the beginning of her pregnancy, she was imagining what it'd be like to like see her baby be free and walk around and just be a free kid. But now she's having to fight for her and her kid and make sure that her kid doesn't grow up as a slave as she has too. So she has no choice but to fight as a pregnant woman. And so it's game on. General Richeponce is ready to force the entire Black population of Guadeloupe back into slavery after 8 years of freedom, and they're not having it. So men and women, including Solitude, grab guns and they fight behind the infantry of Colonel Louis Delgres. So he's leading this. Because he's done it before in Haiti. So like they're like, bro, we got you. You do it. Like we respect. There are 4,000 French soldiers under General Rich Pants. There's only 1,000 soldiers.
Damn.
So they're outnumbered by 4 times. And they're fighting even though they have all the odds up against them. And they're also fighting as a rebel group. And they're fighting an organized army. Yeah. That has boats and boats of resources. And they have whatever they have. And they also are not, maybe they are organized, but you know, they're fighting against one of the world's strongest armies. So they fight for weeks and weeks. And then May 28th, the French forces cornered the resistance fighters in a fortress. And it led to a very violent siege. And they were fucked at this point. They were cornered and they were outnumbered heavily. In desperation, Louis Delgres stuffed the building with barrels of gunpowder, and he decided that he and others decided that they'd rather die free than become slaves. And he had to think about it. He was born a free man, and he was going to do a suicide bomb just so he makes sure no one else dies going into slavery. He's risking everything. So when the army penetrated the fortress, a great explosion rang out and 300 people died in the bomb, including Louis Delgres.
Damn.
Everyone. Like, he was just like, if I'm going down, y'all are going down too. But, and I don't know, like, do you have a discussion about that? Like, what if someone else is like, wait.
At this point, you're just looking at each other like, yo, we all we got right now, bro. Like, you're hearing, yeah, what's that quote? Like, it's in the Black Panther movie. It was just like, I'd rather be buried in the ocean with my ancestors than be shackled in slavery or something like that. Like, yeah. So, I mean, because, you know, a lot of people, like, slaves, they were like, yo, I'd rather die. Like, I'll jump off this ship before being a slave anywhere else. So
that's so scary.
A lot of people have done that. So I could see that.
Fucking fact that they had to make that decision. And I know this decision was probably so quick because they can hear the army coming. Did he make a speech beforehand? Like, where he's like, we're going to die for our freedom? Or is he just like, I got to make a decision for everyone and we're all going to die, so none of us become slaves?
Tonight is about glory, legacy. Our names will be etched in the sketch book of Guadeloupe. For it is our time to show the world and our country, our fellow men, our women, our future children, that we will die for something and we will never live in the captive of the enemy's hands. Who's with me? Sir, can I just go home? Like, dead ass, bro. Like, can I just, hey, listen, I was up with y'all. See, I'm still the last remaining soldier, so clearly I was with y'all. But yo, you got to be a free man, my brother. Let me take my chances real quick. Hey, man, listen, I was with you. I even helped you carry the gunpowder to the door, but I didn't think we were going to die, bro. I thought, hey, you ain't got another plan? God ain't bestow another kind of nugget on you? This is the only way. Anybody else? Yeah, I didn't want to say nothing, but listen, I already didn't want to come to this fortress, bro. Y'all motherfuckers brought me here, bro. Oh, God, bro. We could have been on top of the volcano, bro, shooting from the air. But y'all want to come into a fortress, in a cave? Come on, bro. Like, I already told you, now I got to die with you because you made the decision. Bro, this is why I'm an individual, bro. This is why I do solo trips, bro. I hate group activities, bro. Damn, now I'm about to die with y'all motherfuckers. Oh, man. Anybody else? I think you're great, sir. I think we should just die. Thank you, son. Thank you, son. You brought your son here? Oh, you a menace. That's how I imagine it went down.
But also, like, I really don't even think he had time to ask anyone to have a speech. I think he was like, we're all going down. Man. I would be like, wait, holy fuck.
Boom. That's it. Wait. You die like this?
Well, yeah, 300 people died.
Damn.
And it was
including
just
the French army?
No, that's just the fighters. He took everyone out. But I'm sure he took out a lot of the soldiers too, so fuck them. But a few survived this explosion, but you're not going to want to have survived. Let me tell you. You're not going to want to have survived this. You're going to wish you were one of those dudes, because one of the people survived was Solitude. She survived. Yeah. She survived, but she's not good for her. So she was
there?
Yeah, no, she was part of his army. Oh my God, maybe I skipped that shit. Sorry, y'all. Not a good storyteller.
Hey, you said 300. You said this nigga was running. You ain't tell me a pregnant woman was right there too.
She was fighting along with him. She was in the resistance fighting. Pregnant. That's insane.
So she survives.
She survives. Out of the 300 other people that she knew died. And again, this is not good. She's going to probably wish she had died. And she was immediately arrested. And they were like, we're not going to kill you immediately. We're going to put you in jail and we're going to torture you. But we will execute you at some point. But we're only going to execute you once you birth your child.
They torture her while she's pregnant. And they were like, well, we can't kill a baby because that's fucked up. So we'll wait until you give birth under great conditions, by the way. We'll have a nurse. We'll have blankets for you. And then we'll kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And think about the fucked upness of you're just in jail, and you want to birth your baby because you want to see your baby. But the minute you birth your baby, that's also your death sentence.
What are you going to do with the baby?
Well, he is going to become a slave. So she knows the future for her child isn't even a good one.
Yeah.
So it's you don't want to give birth because once the baby's out, he's going to have a horrible life. And also, if that's your death sentence, the day you give labor, oh my God, this makes me so emotional. Like the day you give labor, they're gonna just kill you. Fuck these guys. Like I honestly hope they're rotting in hell. I don't know if I believe in hell, but I hope there is one for these people that did this, that are doing this to her.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I know we talked about France like earlier and how lovely it is, but it's the most probably corrupt, one of the most like covered up corrupt countries in the world, I believe. Like Haiti did win the revolution against France, but they also had to repay France. Like I'm talking at this point billions of dollars.
They had to pay them?
They had to pay for it. This is why Haiti could never prosper.
Oh my God.
Because now, oh yeah, you're free, well, we're gonna tax you. I think to this day, we're still paying France.
What?
Till this day, I think Haiti is still paying France like a reparation kind of thing. But like they're paying for their
Like
freedom.
you're costing us economic loss by not being slaves. So I just found it. The French government finally acknowledged the payment of 90 million francs in 1888 over a period of 70 years. Haiti paid 112 million francs to France. And that's about $560 million in 2022. So they paid almost $500 million to Haiti, paid France that over the span since the 1800s. And so no fucking wonder they're so broke.
And you gotta realize France cut off all their resources. So you're not getting any food. The history of slavery is like a real one where like the islands is different from America. Like America fought off the British, where Haitians did help in that Revolutionary War too. And they fought off the British and everyone's like, yay, we're free. British cut off the resources for America. Like they were just like, all right, then y'all not getting nothing from like y'all. This is how y'all gonna survive. And that's when the birth of slavery was just like, oh well, we'll use slaves from out. And so that's what happened. Like they were about to crumble just like Haiti. We're just like, damn, we don't have an economy. We told the biggest country, fuck you. So they were like, all right, well, we'll just use these slaves. And then that's how like they kept using it past the time where Europe was just like, okay, we're done with the slave shit. That shit's kind of whack, bro. Like America's like, oh, we're just getting started though. You know what I'm saying? So, and France was just like, well, all these countries are going to pay me. But because Haiti beat France in the war, that's why Napoleon sold the Louisiana Purchase for $15. Like, well, not $15, but like $15 per acre. That's what it kind of breaks it down to. He sold that because he was just like, well, I'm losing power. Like I can't control this, so I got to sell that. That's like really what's happening now. Like, so all these countries, like Haiti, like was the one that kind of like, oh shit, they can fight back. Oh shit, okay. How do we make them suffer? And that was the lesson. Like, cut off their resources and then force them to pay.
What the? Like no one deserves this.
Brought me to this island.
And now you're making me pay for it. Like I was learning about like other conquerors, like Kublai Khan from Mongolia.
Yeah.
When he conquered, he was like, you can keep your religion, you can keep your customs, as long as you say you're allegiant to Mongolia. I don't give a fuck. Alexander the Great, same shit. That's why he took it over everywhere and people respected him because they're like, you can keep your shit, keep your religion. I'm not saying there's not slaves back then. There was definitely slaves in Mongolia and in all these places. But I'm just saying like the way the Europeans conquered was like strip down and destroy for generations to come.
I mean, I would say, yeah, Europeans were just like that. Like
the most
like,
ruthless versions of conquer.
You're going to be Catholic now. Get rid of all your indigenous gods. What? Like, there's a conflict in Haiti where it's just like there's voodoo and then there's like Catholic. And voodoo was like the natural, like Native Americans of Haiti. Like, you know what I'm saying? Indigenous people worship like the spirits, like, and all that. That shit got like trampled down into like Christopher Columbus. Like, hey, y'all gonna be Catholic now. Everyone started becoming Catholic. Just like Native Americans couldn't, they were like, we're not becoming Catholic. They're like, all right, well, we'll kill y'all asses. And they killed them. Like, you don't see a lot of Native Americans that are like, oh, we believe in Jesus Christ. Like, you're not gonna hear that. But you're gonna hear that in Haiti and all these underdeveloped countries because they're like, yo, we're giving you permission to believe in our God. We'll kill anyone that doesn't believe in the name of. So, Christians were conquerors too. So it was just like, It's just like a lot where you have a bunch of island people with no resources that are just trying to survive and making just do with the land around them. Hence the reason why we have all these beautiful foods in the Caribbean, because we're like, all right, plantains grow here, we're just gonna eat that. Then like sugar canes go here, we can get rum from that. Like so it's just like all those things like because it is an emotional thing, like to think like these countries can't prosper because there's bigger countries take and it still happens today, but just way different approach. It's not like, oh, I'm coming over here to take your land. Like no one is doing that anymore. But what they'll do is like, we'll come in here and try to change your government. And we'll try to implode your government. And so your government and your way of thinking implodes. Therefore, the people have their freedom of thinking. But therefore, there's chaos now. And now someone comes in like the white savior and just like, well, this is what it should be. And this is what it is. And then you have people following that order because there's so much chaos. So imagine that's now. Imagine back then, like, and there's no education for these people, so they don't know what's right or wrong, like how to work, their naivety, like all these things kind of like that's why it's important that we had that leader. Granted, he did was like, yo, we're all gonna die, bro. Like, cause he was like, damn, there's no hope, bro. Like, imagine like you're beating battles, but you can't win the war because more ships are coming on the fucking coast, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how depressing that is? Because no one's coming to back you up. There's no like, no America, no Mexico. There's no like community in the Caribbean just like, we're going to fight together because they're all getting fucked up into, you know, they're all getting fucked up.
Like, we need help over here.
Yeah, we need help. We need help. We're like, fuck. And it's not like they can meet on an island because they don't have like the boat resources. They're probably like this. And they got like ships. There's canoes and then there's ships. The most they can do, man, if they made a movie about this, is like they sneak onto the ships, like they swim undercover, throw bombs and explosives. But where are they gonna get that shit? You know what I mean? Like, so, man,
damn,
I guess I'm explaining this shit because I've been kind of emotional too. Like, just like because the islands, it's just one community. Like the fact that the English still were owning Jamaica until like the recently, like 70s or maybe like early, like they just got their freedom. Like, I'm like, why is England still conquering a territory?
Why
like,
is Guadeloupe still a fucking colony? It's like, still a colony.
If they can work on their own economy, now granted the people probably have freedom. Like, you know, granted these people can now go to France and say, but like, why own it? Is it like a side money thing for your country? Like, okay, like, damn, we're going broke. How much Guadeloupe? You know what I mean? Like, let me
raise their
fund it
taxes.
into the like raise their taxes so we can cover our ass. Oh, we got the Olympics coming this year. How could we get workers? Let's offer them a visa to come to France so they can volunteer to work. I don't know if this is happening. I'm just like throwing that out there. But there's just like ways where countries are still kind of like conquering people's freedoms in a way where, or it could be the flip side where it's just like, yeah, we own you guys, so we're giving you some of our resources. I would love for that. There's a part of me that was just like, if Haiti never fought the France, what would that country be like?
Oh, shit.
Like if they never rebelled and they accepted their fate, but now that they're, because the people of Guadeloupe is free. Like, you know what I mean? What would that country look? Would it be developed? Would the streets be cleaner? Would France pour money into that when they know that country's being broke? Because I mean, I'm talking Haiti now. I should be talking about Guadeloupe because
no,
Haiti
it's all connected.
We're still being colonized, but it's just not. It's
indirect.
The governments that are just like getting people in and infiltrating, and just so it's a different way of people like taking people's freedom. Like you got to think Haiti should not still be so underdeveloped beyond other countries. I'm great that Jamaica too has its wars and everyone has their wars and their battles, but the political, they can never become one as a country. Like we're right now fighting Dominican Republic for border. Like the Dominican Republic was just like now saying, we're separated. We're no longer a country. Like DR and Haiti we're not friends. You cannot come in here. We're closing the borders. We're deporting Haitians out of here. We are two different countries. Because they're building a canal to make a resource for it to be easier to travel resources in the country. They're like, no, you're not building a river. So it's just like, whoa, Haiti's still going through a turmoil. Not to mention the natural disasters that are going on
They're constantly
every
getting fucked
fucking
up.
year, like every other year that's going on. A simple answer for me is just like, you know what? If I want a country to colonize me, let it be China. Because at least China fucking builds shit. Like when they go to a country, like they'll build a building and they'll bring workers in or use it. Like that's what they're doing in Africa, where they're like, okay, let China loaned Akon $1 billion, but you're also gonna let us work there too. Like we're gonna send some people to work there too. I'm like, yo, bring some Haitian Chinese people into this country, bro. Like, let's get that. At least we could be a developing country. Right now, we're underdeveloped, and we're staying underdeveloped, bro. Like, it's not cool. It's not cool.
Also, I just wanted to show you this because we were talking about the debt thing. I fucking looked it up. This is make you feel unsettled. The Haitian debt payments effectively funded the construction of the Eiffel Tower.
Yo,
the place that you went to.
Yeah, I know, bro. And I always didn't go. Instinctively, I knew that. Instinctively, I knew what the nice things that we see on the floor in the France history. Haitians paid for that, bro. Like, we paid for that. We probably paid for the fucking Statue of Liberty that was gifted to fucking America. 100%. You feel me? Haiti definitely, under the reign of France, has suffered. And for years. And it was not like they said sorry. They just felt like, yo, how did this small country beat us? Okay, we're embarrassed. How do we show the world we're still powerful? Okay, we're fucking them up financially and they got to pay us. And so it taught everybody else a lesson in the islands. If you want to fight us, you will die. So I can understand why Guadeloupe was like, hey, listen, I'm good.
They're watching Haiti go down and they're like, oh.
Y'all want to be like Haiti? They free, but they ain't got... Y'all want to be like, hey, we good, master. Thank you so much, bro. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see your dog get beat up, bro, and you see someone coming after you like, what's up? You want some too? No. Yeah, you know what I mean? You out of here. You gone. Like, you just doing what you do because now you got fear. You done seen it like, yeah, they won, but they losing. Do we want to be like that? Jamaica. Do we want to be like that? Guadeloupe, Saint Martinique. Like, we're not big enough to do that. Hey, we got it, and that's why they're still colonies. And I'm just like, Haiti's still a colony. It's under a colony.
They're paying for it. They're paying for it.
We paid for that bit, bro. We paid for that. So y'all welcome France for the Eiffel Tower, boy. Y'all about to put a little Haitian flag on that. Bit,
yeah, bro. For real. Fuck that shit. Yeah, this is like all connected. And like just to like finish up their story just real quick, like because again, like Solitude, that's why I'm getting like pissed off because like Solitude's in jail. She's gonna be executed. The minute she gives birth, she's gonna die, and then her son's gonna go and be a fucking slave. And so she gives birth to a boy. The boy is now taken from her, put into slavery. And then she was executed the very next day. I researched a lot of these stories and a lot of them are fucked up. But like, I don't know why hers really pisses me off. Like, really pisses me off. That is beyond heartless and also scares the fuck out of me that humans can be like that. Her story really, really scares me. And she doesn't have barely any stories about her. I tried to look her up. I found like one article.
How'd you find out about it?
Guadeloupe, on their website, they cover Louis Delgres and they also covered Solitude. They lift them up. But I'm just saying, like, we all fucking know Napoleon. We don't hear about the people that die or suffer under him. We cannot let these people just like die. Like, and just like, oh, there goes their whole story. Like this bitch. I'm so upset.
This pregnant bitch.
This pregnant bitch. No, like this is not okay. I would not wish this upon anyone. So long story short, like we really need to remember Solitude. And just how you told Joseph's story, if someone fucking mentions Napoleon and like Napoleon is like the greatest conqueror of all time, be like, oh, have you heard of Solitude? Have you heard of Delgres? Have you heard of fucking Haiti paying for the Eiffel Tower? No? Okay, let's talk about it. Like maybe don't be aggressive because no one wants to have a conversation with aggression. But I'm just saying like, let's start saying these people's names. Let's start talking about Solitude because
they can live
what happened to her son? We will never know. There's probably Solitude's son's probably out there right now. Her grandson, no idea who his grandmother is because his dad was a slave and then his dad was a slave and his mother was Solitude.
Solitude I don't feel like she had that good life. She had like a moment of good life. a moment.
She got to have a little bit of romance, and she got to have like a few years of freedom. But
I mean, the birth of her child too.
But then again, I would like not want my kid to be born because I'm like, then I gotta die, you know. So I just we got it. Solitude and Louis Delgres, and I do want to talk about the deaths though of General Rich Pants and Napoleon.
Yes,
because they didn't get off easy. Okay, so good news: Rich Pants died September 3rd, 1802, to the worst of things, yellow fever, a very slow, painful death. The slow death of yellow fever includes vomiting, blood, fevers, red eyes, red tongue, hemorrhages. I don't know what the hemorrhages are, but I don't want to look them up. And
it's like,
I feel like it's something like bloody stool.
Yeah.
So he was just bleeding, and I'm sure everyone was like, "Ugh," and I'm sure everyone was like not wanting to get near him. So I'm sure he died alone.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I hear that, that's the people of Guadeloupe doing that prayer to the spirits. I promise you.
Yeah, no, for real. They're like, if you're gonna do this to us, just know your death's gonna be lonely.
Yeah, and all the ghosts that you killed, they coming for you. They haunting you, bro. That shit. Hey, you know how you feel the spirits in the church and you feel peace? That shit real over there, where you feel like spirit, like it's realer in the Caribbean. I don't know, like if you ever hear a ghost story in the Caribbean, like you hear a ghost story, you're like, yo, this shit, hey, this shit real, bro.
No, I'm sure that's like voodoo ghosts were all on top of Rich Pants. Sir. I'm sure it's haunting his family to this day. You gonna generationally fuck us? We're gonna generationally fuck you with ghosts. That's what's happening. And also Napoleon did not have a good death either. So he was only 51 when he died. He died on the island of St. Helena, not in Paris, not in France. He was out of power. He was exiled. By May 5th, 1801, he was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. He died from reoccurring abdominal pain. He was becoming very weak. He was also permanently constipated. Sucks. And his last weeks were plagued with vomiting and incessant permanent hiccups and blood clots.
Yeah, they did some prayers on those motherfuckers, bro. You're going to hiccup all the time. And hiccups are annoying. You know how annoying hiccups are, bro? They're unpredictable, but in a pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know it's coming. Well, you don't know when it's coming, nigga.
He's also vomiting after too. The spirits are after Napoleon. They did not have good deaths, which makes me feel happy. But I do want to talk about how these people are being remembered. Because again, we're going back to like why we're doing this podcast. We make sure we remember the right people and for the right reasons. So Mr. fucking Rich Pants, his name is engraved in the Arc de Triomphe, which I know you probably saw in Paris and everyone sees. He also has a street in Paris called Rich Pants. And Napoleon wanted the fort in Guadeloupe to be called Rich Pants, but the citizens were like, fuck no. And now you can go and see it. It's called Fort Delcree, not called Rich Pants. But I will say, if you go to Paris, look up the street Rich Pants. Look it up. See if you've been on it. And the Arc de Triomphe, his name's on there too. So there is Fort Delcree. When you go to Guadeloupe, there's also a contemporary French Caribbean blues trio band called Delgres. French band, by the way. I think they're like from France, but they decided to make a band off of Delgres, and it's Caribbean blues. They sing in Creole. I'm going to reach out to them and see if I can play their music at the end or at the beginning of this and see.
Yeah, that would be really, and if you can send that to me, that'd be cool, man.
Yeah. So I'll set that in the show notes. We'll put that on the Instagram. And then Solitude, her name adorns squares, avenues. There's a library, a museum room, and she's also known a lot of Guadeloupe songs and poems. And there's a musical after her called Solitude La Marron. And so that's how we know about Solitude. That's how we know about Delgres. They're in a lot of stuff around. If you go to Guadeloupe, you'll recognize their names now, and you can be a part of that history. And now when you go to France, you can look at the Eiffel Tower and you can know that fucking Haiti paid for that shit. So I guess we have to talk about like, okay, when did slavery end? Because it's not existing today. So March 29th, 1815, Napoleon does take it back. And he's like, sorry, I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to buy America. So I really needed slaves at the moment. And in 1815, he was like, my bad, y'all are free, but no one paid attention for 30 years. Again, delayed news. It wasn't until the Revolution of 1848 that the abolition of slavery was finally recognized. So 1848 is officially when slavery stopped in France and in the colonies, almost 100 years after they said it was going to be. So Guadeloupe is still a colony. And so nearly 3/4 of the people living there are from the West African descent. And they're mostly from slaves. And what does it look like to be colonized by the French, which we talked about? Haiti's not colonized. They're in disrepair. Guadeloupe is still colonized. So what does that look like? So Guadeloupeans have French passports. They can travel freely throughout the EU. Pretty fucking cool, actually. They can vote in French elections. And outside the classroom, they still speak Creole. If you go there, you're going to hear Creole more than French. And Guadeloupeans follow the French legal system and political system. In school, they learn the same curriculum as they do in the mainland. But most of the local economy is still controlled by, they're called Bekes, Bekes, descendants of white French slave owners. So it kind of goes back to like, it still trickles down. The richest people are still the descendants of the slave owners. And these slave owners received reparations from the French government in 1848 because they lost their like labor. So they got paid after they freed slaves because they were like,
damn, Haiti should have waited 40 years. Damn. Just 40 years, nigga. Why'd y'all have to fight so early? I could have had a French passport. I could have been speaking French.
I know.
But I feel like that revolution shook up the whole world.
Yeah.
And there's yet to be a movie about Haiti's revolution. It's
Really?
only just talked about. Like, there's not a movie where you're like slaves beating and like a whole country. America has The Patriot. They have all these Civil War movies about like how, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, Haiti, it's mentioned in like a background of the movie. Like, oh, we're doing a movie on the revolution. Bro, like, I don't know and if anyone's even interested in the story, but I definitely know Haitians would be proud to see themselves being represented. Of course, you know, at the end of the movie where they're just like, and Haiti became the most prosperous country. They'd be like, no, Haiti's still going under. Da, da, da. So I guess they don't want to make that movie until like...
They don't want to do the ending subtitle.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have
They're just
to.
like, there's no good epilogue. Make a part 2.
But that's so true. And like, I would love to cover Haiti because this opened up a whole can of worms. This is so connected. This is also connected. And like knowing that Louis Delgres fought for them and like he also probably fought for your ancestors' freedom too. This guy was in it. He was in it.
I'm a big fan, bro. You put me on another person.
In Solitude, 1,000,000% Solitude.
Solitude would be right here, bro.
Yeah, right here. Right here on the chest. But that's the story. That's the story of Solitude and Louis Delgres. And Guadeloupe is a beautiful island that I am definitely going to, but also like a lot of history there too.
Yeah.
Not just a place to take your cute pictures. It's a place to go like ask around, ask the people about Solitude and ask people about Louis Delgres and ask them about fucking Eiffel Tower. How they feel about that shit. So after you've learned now 3 episodes about Guadeloupe, an island that was just random as fuck to you, like what do you think about this island?
Something in that water for sure. Definitely a destination place. I didn't think I haven't been in the Caribbean since like 3 years. So I'm like, I might look up what the price is looking like for a little quietness, peace, volcano, walking around, you're hearing the crunching of the sound under your sandals when you walk. I feel like it's a safer place for me to go. So yeah, I might get a Solitude over there, find love, but and then come back to America.
Yeah. You want to get that French passport.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
You get literally you get to like go to the EU anywhere, whenever. Yeah. It's a place to be. And like I feel like I loved learning about it because it's like I didn't know anything about this place. And I was just looking up Joseph. And then I was like, okay, well, he didn't live there. Like who else lived there? And then this whole can of worms opened up and I was like, oh. And this is just the beginning. I could do more research and find more stories from this island. I think it's a fascinating place. And I think if you're Guadeloupean or Guadeloupean, whatever you call yourselves, y'all should be super fucking proud. Y'all should be super proud. And let me know how we can keep representing your colony, your country, whatever y'all are.
We are country. Yes.
Yeah, your country. I don't know what to call y'all for real though. Your land. And again, check out the Instagram at culturecultshow. I'm gonna have like Louis Delgres fuck you note on there. I'm also gonna have all pictures of things you can do and the band Delgres. Yeah. But okay, to you on your way out. I know you have some big news on your end. What do you want to shout out?
SourJack songs are mixed and mastered. I'm just waiting on the cover art. Vacation Time being the first single. Yay, Vacation Time is over. Such a good song, bluesy. That's what's happening. In a month, I'm also going to be in Japan. I'm kind of correlating the drop of that song with the trip of Japan, Vacation Time. So we trying to make magic work. What else is going on in my life? I mean, this podcast, just music podcast, self-healing, therapy, writing, watching TV. King of the Hill, best show on TV. That's when you know nothing's going on. I love King of the Hill. Yeah, it's just really just the music and the SourJack season. So just prepare for me frolicking in Japan, me fucking just drinking good water, and just absorbing the world as much as I can.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And I will say, I listened to it. It's a fucking bop. Also, you have a powerhouse voice. It gives like big band vibes, you know, like just like it just has a lot of power behind it. It's a vibe. It's a bop. The vacation time is a great way to call it. It's kind of music that you just kind of play just to have a good fucking day, like sunny, good day, good vibes. And also you got a voice on you. So I feel like if you're into powerhouse voices, like you'd like this song. So well, SourJack, and then where can people reach out to you on Instagram?
I am SourJack on Instagram. I am SourJack on TikTok. SourJack on YouTube. It's just SourJack everywhere.
But okay, well, that's the whole episode. That was fucking incredible. Like, I feel like I just learned so much shit.
We did that today. Hey, we did that today.
That was like, I learned so much shit today. Wow. Okay, so this is definitely one of my favorite episodes we've done, personally. I truly had no idea what has happened to Haiti, and just a lot about the Caribbean and the effect of colonialism and how it's still very prominent in today's society in the Caribbean. This definitely makes me look at the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower quite differently. And definitely, I hope this episode makes you look at Napoleon differently too. If you are interested to learn more about Caribbean history, I follow this Instagram called Know Your Caribbean, KNOW, Know Your Caribbean. I just stumbled upon it. It's super informative about the Caribbean culture and history, and the people who follow that account are all Caribbean. And if you ever write a comment or have a question, you'll get so many comments back about Caribbean music, history, food. I just love being a part of that Instagram, and it's very cool. So it's called at Know Your Caribbean, KNOW. It's so good. So for today's shout out, let's shout out Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What's up? I don't know anything about y'all's state, really. I do know that y'all have good cheese, and I freaking love good cheese. I am a cheese queen. So if you're listening from Wisconsin, it'd be so fun if you would like want to write in something about your state or maybe about Milwaukee that we don't know. We all have these stereotypes of where we come from. Like, I'm from Alabama, and people have stereotypes about Alabama. What they might not know is that Birmingham, Alabama is actually a huge like hippie pothead city. People wouldn't know that. So if you're from Wisconsin or from another town that you think people don't know a lot about, if you would want to write in something about your place or your state or your country, that'd be so cool. You can email me at culturecultshow@gmail.com, or the Instagram is at culturecultshow. Because, yeah, I don't know much about Wisconsin besides that I heard y'all have good cheese. So thank you, Wisconsin, and thank you, any returning listeners. It means so much. So last thing I do want to say in this kind of housekeeping corner is that I started a small Instagram group for the superfans. And this is a group that you can join where I will send you these episodes weekly instead of you having to wait bi-weekly. And you don't have to engage in the group if you don't want to. Don't feel the pressure that you need to talk to anyone. It's just a group that I'll add you in, and I will send you the episodes weekly and early so you don't have to wait bi-weekly for the episodes. And it's just my appreciation for any super fans out there. If you want to join, just follow me on Instagram and message me. The Instagram is at culturecultshow. I really want to keep this group tight knit and small, so I'm not spamming a bunch of people. So I only have 15 spots left. There's already 5 people in it. So yeah, just go ahead and follow me on Instagram at culturecultshow and ask to be in the super fan group. And then you can get these episodes weekly instead of bi-weekly. So that is the end of the series on Guadeloupe. The next country we will be covering is Mongolia, which people have been asking for this country since the first season. So I am super excited to be covering Mongolia. And no, we're not covering Genghis Khan. And you will not be upset about that because I found some freaking awesome stories besides Genghis Khan. So to end the show, I mentioned in the episode that there was a French band called Delgres based off of Louis Delgres, who we just covered. And I messaged them, and they are allowing me to showcase their music. So wherever you are in the car, maybe you're doing dishes or maybe you're on a walk, let's vibe out and listen to Delgres. Cheers and enjoy. And I'll see y'all next time, y'all.